Oh, wait, what?
So if anyone doesn't know, you only stop your recall if someone displaces you with a CC or they hit your HP. Because I have a shield, she didn't break through the shield, so technically I didn't take damage, so it doesn't actually stop my recall.
Poggers.
So the more you know, which means if you're a Janna player, Luli player, Karma player, listen up. You can shield your teammate, and if your shield doesn't break, you can save your teammate's recall. Okay, so my story of my day. So he's the cutest thing ever. Okay, so we were meant to meet up at 5:45 or around 6 at the station. So I went to Footscray Station, if anyone knows that in Melbourne. I got there first and I was waiting for him, and then I was like, oh no, I need to go to the toilet. She's feeling something. And then as soon as I got into the toilet, I was like, oh no, I know what's happening now. This isn't gonna be just like no quick poop. This is gonna be a volcano, like diarrhea moment. And I didn't know. I was like, I didn't eat any spicy food. I had been having diarrhea for a while, but like that's because I was eating spicy food, and I didn't eat any spicy food recently, so I don't know why I'm getting diarrhea. And then he got to the station and called me whilst I was in the toilet, the unisex toilet though, because you know toilets don't have a gender. So I was like, oh no, I can't answer this. And then he called me a second time. I was like, and then I answered. And then I was just like, hi, I'm just in the toilet. Like, I'll be there. You know, I'll meet you soon. Thankfully, I did not take super long, for like 5 to 10 minutes. But it was enough for him to be like, messaging me back, being like, oh, did you see me and run away? But thankfully, we did finally meet up. And he's just the cutest thing ever. His eyes are so beautiful. And then we got to a restaurant. We were eating at a all-you-can-eat Japanese restaurant. And for some reason, I didn't really think about it, that we had like a time slot. So our time slot was all the way up to 7:30. And it took us 1 hour before we could get any food. Like we ordered and all, but it was just taking so long that we got like, it took us an hour to get our first plate of food. And so we were not having it, and we like complained, and so they let us like stay even longer for like the extra session for free. So we loved that, though it did take quite a long time to get the food and all. So we were sitting there for quite some time, which is probably like maybe a good thing because outside was cold. So staying inside was good, and we didn't really have anything else to do. But like chatting with him is really nice. Like he talked more than I did. I got a little worried that I would bore him, but that was all like in my head. Like he told me that he wasn't bored at all and he really enjoyed it as well. Like, and I couldn't stop staring at him because he's just so beautiful to me and so cute. To the point where, to the point where he got really nervous because like he told me he can't do like eye contact, like he gets really nervous and all, and so he was trying to like avoid my eye contact and all. But he did tell me like later, like I wasn't trying to like avoid it, like because I don't like it or anything. It was just like, you know, he got nervous and all. But like both of us being nerds is like really cute. We get to talk about anime, video games, stuff like that. And it's not like he's some casual, like he does know very much about the Twitch world and stuff like that. And then after that, we were going back to the station. It was really cold because I wasn't wearing thick stuff. So he gave me his jacket or his coat, which is really, really cute, even though he was cold. Oh, he even paid for the thing, which is like $35 per person. And I will eventually pay him back, like sneak in $35 or something, because, you know, I can't let him just pay for it. So he gave me his coat, and then...
Why not?
Well, I don't want to be that girl. I want to, you know, be having some money as well to pay. Anyways, on our way to the station, he was really cold, and then randomly, I was like talking, and then randomly he like just like started making out with me, which is like really cute, fun and fresh, and like it warmed him up, so we loved that. And then we continued walking back to the station, and we had to wait for like 10 to 20 minutes there for the train. So there was like the room where the seats are, which is nice and warm. And so we got into there and we made out there. And even though there was a camera, we got very, very touchy. And when I say touchy, I don't mean just like upstairs. So yeah, and then when we got onto the train, we were also making out a lot. And yeah.
How are you making out?
Lots of kissing and hugging and
It's like pecking, vanilla kissing.
making out like tongue the house action and
You're playing WWE, wrestling with your tongue.
yes, and he said that's the horniest he's ever been in quite some time, and me too, and he felt it physically. So yeah, so my date went really well, and I'm very, very happy. And he wants to meet up again soon, hopefully on this Saturday. Maybe we can get a hotel room.
Do you know who Nelson Mandela?
It's kind of like a monk, isn't he? Or some shit.
He's a what?
Some ascended type of person.
Okay, ascended. You play well.
It sounds very ascended. Sounds very enlightened.
Oh no, not this again. He used to be the prime minister of the president of South Africa.
Oh, okay.
And like he is
Oh yes.
he basically like led the movement against apartheid in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
Sounds ascended, sounds kind of transcendent, ethereal, and from the heavens.
Yeah, sounds very like a monk, like, you know, like it sounds very divinely thin moment.
Sounds very kind of chosen, enlightened keeper.
Yes. It reminds me of Lee Sin, divine chosen Lee Sin. It's in several.
We're literally talking about the bully from The Simpsons, you know, Ralph.
Yeah.
It's funny that the writers made his name Nelson Mandela. Months.
Sounds kind of ascended, kind of enlightened, kind of holy.
They're spiritually connected.
A magical being.
Who is she though?
He looks up at the heavens. Please.
And I remember hearing the name in high school. I just forgot who it was.
Right. That's what I thought you meant. Like, I was like, oh, that's a cool way to put it. Like, ascended like one of the big figures in history. But she was talking about heaven and the angels.
I was thinking monks and like church related.
Okay. Okay, Confucius.
Morgana with Ludens, I have gone through that a bajillion times. Not good. Think about what Ludens is good, and think about like who actually uses Ludens properly, and think about like how it applies to Morgana. Study all the characters that actually use Ludens, and figure out what is the common theme with people that use Ludens. So in high school, I had this program that was brought in from America. It's called the AVID program. So it's for mostly the students that have the aptitude, is that the word, to be good students and achieve more. And so they had like a lot of shit in the AVID program, kind of like note-taking strategies and skills and shit like that. But one of the things that they, not a rule, but like I guess a philosophy, if you will, that I didn't think much about it in the moment. Like I couldn't ever understand it, but now I understand now that I relate it to League. So something is, you don't want to give the answer to someone. So if someone is saying, what do you think on Luden's Echo on Morgana, I don't ever want to answer it for them, because they would never have the critical thinking skills to think of to answer their own questions in the future, and they will always continue asking for the answers. What you want to do, there is like, they have like this like level 1, level 2, level 3 asking stuff. I might have to Google that, but you want to ask questions that promote critical thinking so people can figure shit out themselves. So rather than me being like, just, oh, Luden's Echo sucks, I want to ask, well, why do you think people build Luden's Echo in the first place? Who do you notice the Luden's Echo is good on? I'm not gonna, like, I won't actually answer it for them. I want them to be able to figure out, like, hey, if I actually did the studying, I would realize that the people that build Luden's Echo are people with short cooldowns and spammable, because the point of Luden's Echo is you get charges, you do damage, right? You do this little like splash damage, and that happens every time you get charged by walking or spamming abilities. So naturally, that obviously means that people with spamming abilities would utilize Luden's Echo a lot more better, which you will absolutely see on like Ziggs and all. And so when you ask me like, is Morgana good with Ludens? Well, what do you think? Does Morgana have spamming abilities? Can she utilize Luden's Echo? This is shit I would rather people think about and be able to form themselves, rather than just me telling them, oh, no, I don't like this item on Jana. No, I don't like this item on Ludens. I want them to figure that shit out themselves, like that critical thinking. Otherwise, they're never gonna be able to understand. How would Nidalee support work out? Her heal and attack speed buff would work well with Iden, right? But what does she offer that's better than any other support that exists? As the great Bianca Del Rio said, what do you do successfully? Quickly. What does she do successfully? So they had level 1, level 2, level 3 asking, so this for the AVID program. So a level 3 is something that promotes like, so like if, asking if questions, that would promote a level of thinking where they really have to think about like what could happen if this or that. And I never really understood it in high school, but now that I think about it in League, like this like type of like critical thinking, like not just getting the answer off someone, but like actually being able to form your own conclusions is important. The AVID binder, I had the AVID binder. I actually quite like that binder. The Cornell notes, the learning intention, and then the question side thingy. So was AVID program popular in America? Because it did come from America. I just remember that I actually used my AVID binder to knock a picture out. Oh my. Very popular here. My school had, oh god! The AVID program coming through. Using AVID program for League of Legends. Wow. Who knew AVID could come through? I think the biggest problem was that, at least AVID program for my class, because it was so new, people like just couldn't understand like the questioning. I can't remember what it was called, but it would be like you would get into these groups and people would have a question, whether that be like from, like pretty much a question from their class, and what the other students had to do, the tutorials, okay. So the other students had to ask the questions, the 3-level thinking questions, to this person to help them figure out the answer. And I think a lot of the class just couldn't really, we didn't know what to do, because it's like, oh, this person has a maths question. None of us do maths, or like, how do we help this person, right? So that was like the biggest problem. So people would just like bullshit their questions, or like bullshit with whatever. So like, if I'm helping someone with, so someone is like, oh, I want to be a streamer, I want to be a YouTuber, but I'm playing, I don't know if I can, Call of Duty. How can you help me, blah, blah, blah. Personally, like, I don't know anything about Call of Duty, right? But I can ask questions that would promote a thinking from that person that could help them with the streaming. So for example, I could ask, well, I don't know anything about Call of Duty, but do you know of anything that's popular in Call of Duty? Is there a game mode? Is there something that's clicking with people? Like if you're studying the scene, is there other videos that are really popular in Call of Duty, or shit like, if you did this with Call of Duty, like could you see this being popular or whatever. So like that's when it started clicking to me, like you don't actually particularly have to know the subject. Like if someone doesn't know maths, or someone doesn't know support, or someone doesn't know League of Legends, like whatever, you can still ask questions and promote shit, like thinking from that person to get their minds jogging and running. So going back to all I said at the start, this is the shit that I want to get out of when people ask me questions. Like I really dislike when someone is like, oh, what do you think of Luden's Echo or Morgana? What do you think of Seraphine support? What do you think of this support? Like, I want them to have the critical thinking skills to find out themselves. I did not think I would be talking about AVID on League Stream. Well, I'm actually so glad that you guys know that the AVID program. Is she successful? So that was like we were the first years to ever get AVID. So I don't know how successful it was, honestly. I want to know how successful it was for you girls. Did you guys like it? The kids thought they were top shit. Yeah, the AVID program, well, my school was friendly, but AVID program does give off a very like, bougie rich vibes moment. Not rich, what's the word? Like, very elitist vibes. Like, we're part of the AVID program. How about you? Oh, you're not? I guess you weren't destined for greatness in the future. I hated AVID. I actually really like AVID, but that's more because I like my classmates. Like my school, although academically we were a flop, we were a very, very friendly school. Very, very friendly. Which I valued a lot. I think to get into the AVID program, they would have like some interview and they would ask you like, what would you like to be in the future? Like your job. And I said, I wanted to be a food critic because I saw on Ratatouille, the food critic, and I wanted to be like him and Matt Preston on Masterclass. I mean, yeah, MasterChef.
Don't let anyone.
And then at the end of the day, I realized that you actually have to be good at writing. Like writing words and stuff like that. And so, and you had to be maybe good at cooking. And I wasn't about to cook, so that dream ended quite quickly. The interview gave me anxiety in 6th grade. Oh my god! I think I was quite scared as well. The way we're going through down memory lane with AVID! Okay, AVID. What I really liked, but we never got the chance to do that much. So there would like, I think it was called philosophical chairs. So it would be like, there'll be a philosophical question and then you would have a debate, like rows of seats and you go on each side like debating. And I loved that because, you know, she came to fucking fight, but the teachers just never had time to do it. So every time I was like, when are we gonna do philosophical chairs and stuff like that? It just like never happened. But like, I came to fucking fight. And I loved that. It was catty. Honestly, AVID's the tea. I show my friend your Max W Morgana and his favorite thing now. We love to see. I honestly revolutionized everything with my Max W Morgana. Louise Einstein lecture has been inventing and calculating all these. That's where I spend a lot of my time, like outside. Like I think a lot about like how to make something work. That's why I like Tahm Kench a lot. Is because like I can think about, how do you make Tahm Kench work? Do you know what goes in my brain, like at nighttime or whatever? What goes in my like, okay, Tahm Kench is a really bad late game. How do I offset that? Does that mean I have to be really good at early game? If I be at early game, how do I do that? I guess I could roam and like get really strong. Are there items that work for late game? Not really, because even if I build support items, then like I'm not as useful as someone like Leona late game. So I need to somehow be useful outside of just my ability. So does that mean I should build like tanky or just stick with support item? I've noticed that if I build like Moby boost and start roaming and like blah blah blah, that actually has helped me get like a lot of money for early game, and then that early game money can help with my buying expensive tank item. How about Glacial? I remember watching a video about Glacial and that helps me with utility. I noticed that if with Tahm Kench, the problem with Tahm Kench is that people like kite me really well, and so the Glacial Augment with the slow actually helps me get those auto attacks that I can just flash in. The Hack to Flash also helps with like the gankery. Like this is shit that runs in my brain, which is really fun to me. that's why I've been really liking rell, because rell I also have to think about like how do you make rell work and blah blah blah, because she's not like easy in the sense like she can easily do work. She's really outplayable. And so I think that's why I've been a little bit bored of Jana, because Jana is very much like, we all know how to play Jana. Like we all know how to play Jana. She's so strong. Like you don't need to think anymore than like what other people are already doing. You're not inventing anything new with Jana, right? So there's nothing to think about. It's just like, oh, I play Jana, I win, right? And I find that a bit boring. So a lot of my fun is coming up like with new shit, which is how I came up with Max W Morgana build, because I was thinking like, you know, Max W Morgana build, I hate her damage. Her W is so fucking useless, costs so much mana. Like what the fuck do you do in lane? And what happens if you miss your Q? Because when you're versing high ranks, your Q is really hard to land. I find that you don't have a lot of utility compared to like the other enchantresses, so you do fall off late game. Your binding is like not amazing, and your shield, it's okay. And your ultimate is really hard to like survive. Like even if you get Zhonya's, I feel like even if I flash in Zhonya's and ultimate blah blah, like even if I stun them, like I end up dying anyways, or I don't do enough damage and blah blah blah. And then I was thinking about, well actually, but Morgana's W actually has an insanely high AP ratio and actually has insanely high base damage. If I can like utilize that and like upgrade that and build AP, maybe I could do damage. But wait a second, W is like damage over time type of thing. It's not a burst damage, so she can actually really utilize Liandra's properly, because if you ult summon, that's 3 seconds, then you stun them, that's 1.5 seconds, then you put your W, and then you put your snare on top of that, that's either 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, second stun. So you can actually have a lot of duration on Liandra, probably 8 seconds to 11 seconds plus. So Liandra's I thought about. And then, yeah, you get the idea. Like, this is shit I think about for characters, which makes it quite fun for me, thinking about this stuff. I actually really hate how my face looks. My right eye is higher than the other, and I really taking photos. I guess you said I really hate. I hate, this eye is smaller than this eye. And I have like a scar here, not noticeable, because I got hit by a tennis racket when I was little. Like, one of the kids being stupid. Don't know how to play fucking tennis.
Oh my god, I got hit by a cricket bat. I've got a scar.
I wonder like if me getting hit by the tennis racket like is the reason why my eyes are small. Like maybe like it changed up the bone structure or some shit. I don't know. But how fucking dare she ruin my fucking beauty?
I remember. Oh my god, maybe that's just a queer thing. Anyone else get hit by stuff in sports? Because I was backstop, like I was behind the guy that was batting for cricket, and he just like swung it back and whacked the side of my head, and it just started gushing.
This is why we don't stand sport ever.
I was crying like a fucking sissy. Like I was dying. And I had such a high voice back then when I was in primary school. And the nurse was like, oh my god, it's okay, it's okay. It's a tiny little cut. It's a tiny little cut. And my mom was a teacher right there too. She came to the nurse's office and she's like, JJ, calm down. I remember the guy's name too. Fucking Corey Anderson. And his older brother was hot, Tyler Anderson. Hi, if you're watching.
They're definitely not watching.
Yeah, I think they got into drugs.
Okay.
Drug dealing.
The only sports I stand like, ribbon dancing, synchronized swimming.
Does that count? Ribbon dancing?
Yes, it's in the Olympics.
It's just like moving your hand.
No, it's a dancing. We stand. That's about it. Those are the 2 spots we stand.
I loved sports. In primary school, my favorite was hockey. Like grass hockey. My shins are quaking from that still. They hurt. It hurts so much to get hit by a hockey stick in your shin.
It's scary. I don't do sports.
Oh my god, I played netball.
I played netball
with a predominantly female team in primary school, and we won like the inter-school championship.
Yeah! Anyone that played netball was made fun of if you were a boy. Like if they were
Please.
the straight boy, like toxic masculinity. I saw a lot. It happened with the flute and netball. The toxic masculinity really jumps out.
The way I focused so much on what the coach was teaching me, I would like I felt like a jock for the first time because I would be going home and like when we play with the ball, I'm like pivot, you can't step. I would like stand on the feet and you can't step, so I had to pivot with the ball.
Was Tyler
Anyway,
Anderson
that's
from
all for
Macau? Okay, I guess Kessler knows.
Please? No. No, it's not. Thank fucking God. Maybe that was a mistake saying their names. Not you finding me with my bed head in the school photos.
I never really had people come up to me like with their toxic masculinity because I think they just always suspected, like they just knew like if it's John. That's my old name. It just fits John, like John, very, very twink Asian, good boy vibes. The flute.
You didn't get bullied in primary?
No, I am very thankful for my schooling. Like primary school and high school, very, very like friendly. I've only been bullied like once, but the worst is like literally they pushed me into a wall. That's it. That's the worst I've ever had in high school or schooling in general. So I consider myself very, very lucky. Very fortunate.
I always got like the F word in primary school.
Oh no.
So funny, though.
I honestly can't like, because my schooling was so good, it's really hard for me to like look at like movies or whatever and like, you know, all this bullying happen and be like, is this normal? Like, does this actually happen? Because I've never experienced it or really saw it that much. Because I think my school cracked down on it really well. Like if someone was really bad or whatever, like expelled. Because like now I think about it, like a lot of kids like that were like troublemakers. I honestly never saw again after a while. I'm like, what happened to them? But yeah.
I got into so many fights for it though.
Okay.
Honestly, I'd love to watch young me because my voice was so sissy, so gay when I was in primary school.
I see a lot. I think I saw like a Islander, like New Zealand type of person. What do you call them? Kiwi.
Yeah.
This one. So on my day when we were at the restaurant, there was like definitely like this really big boy, taller than me. I don't know what age. I think it's 13. Taller than me. And like, hi guys, like me. Hi guys. Bigger, like a little chubby. Like, hi guys.
I just wanna see when like they would be like, come here. Oh, they were like, ooh Mag, ooh maggot. Like, I would not like take it because my mom told me to fight. If they hit you, punch them in the nose, kick them in the balls. If they say anything to you, stand up for yourself. I remember always hearing that.
Is that what a teacher should be saying, though?
Huh?
Is that what a teacher should be advocating?
No, that's what my mom was saying to me.
Yeah, but your mom is a teacher.
That she's fine, because she knew that she was always worried. She's like, oh, I could tell that she was always worried because she didn't want me to get bullied for being the way I am. Like my brother didn't have to deal with it. My sister didn't have to deal with it. But like whenever someone would say something to me, I'm like, what do you fucking say? What the fuck? And then it was always my favorite move to like go up to them and collar them. Say it again. Say it again.
Say it again.
And they're fucking getting tired. But I would always get so shaky. I remember that feeling so much. And sometimes I have dreams where I'm like shaking the same way I was in primary school, where I'm so angry and I want to fight them, but like my body's shaking and I can't do anything. Like I'd be holding their collar and like lose all my energy all of a sudden. Like, what did you call me? What did you call me? Say it again. Say it again. But I got into so many fights from primary to like early high school.
You won most of them, right?
I
Period.
remember one where my mom was like the teacher on duty, and usually the teachers are like, whoa, 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 like they come running to like break it up. But this time I remember so clearly her disappointed face. I just put my hand down because I was this guy named Lima. I was like, I had my hand on his collar and I was like, say it again, the same thing. And like we're about to fight on the playground and my mom's like sitting on the field watching over some kids and she's like, JJ, and she goes and shakes her head and I was like instantly put my hand down.
But she told you to fight.
Yeah, but this time she was like, no, go back, it's fine.
Okay.
Because she would get in trouble if she would just like just sit there. Yeah, let me name all my primary school friends, but like it's fine.
I mean, those kids that like have such high pitched voices, like really big, they'll have a glow up. It's very like teddy bear cute vibes. Like
I
very
think the
friendly.
worst one was in year 10. In year 10, I remember I finished math class and we're on the second floor and the guy started the fight at the top of the stairs and we fell all the way to the bottom.
Wait, what?
I think that's the worst fight I've had was in year 10. The
felt
guy that tried to fight me, yeah, it was at the top of the stairs. And like he hooked me and we started falling down the stairs. It was like 2 flights of like concrete stairs and I held onto him and like we just tumbled all the way down. And this was the end of school as well. The principal came, my sister was there, she tried to help in as well.
How many fights have you had in total?
A lot. A lot. I can remember most of their names, so that I fucking hope this doesn't. Anyway, this guy Lima in primary school, I fought him a lot. This guy James in primary school. The guy that in year 10 that I fought down the stairs, he actually broke his arm broke his hand because he swung at me while I was on the ground, but it missed and he punched like the concrete. Just like as hard as he could.
That's what she deserves.
His name was Solo. He's a Niuean. Hey. There's so many. There was Anthony in primary school. There was this Indian guy. The one fight I had in intermediate. How embarrassing! I was getting off the bus. And he's like, "Yeah, that F word," to me, and little JJ came out. I was like, what? I dropped my bag. It's heavy as fuck in intermediate. And like we were fighting and I punched the fence. Like I punched the fence where our bus stopped after school. And like it was such a messy fight, but that was the one time I had a fight. I think his name was Raj. It was Rajesh. Rajesh Singh. Hey. In New Zealand. How
Why
you
are there
doing?
so many bullies at your school?
Girl, it was the ghetto. I'm in the ghetto. It was well, my primary school was in like a shitty neighborhood.
Right.
Intermediate, not so much, but yeah,
These hands have never fought. Maybe like one punch to my brother. That's about it. But these.
Oh my god!
Never fought.
There was this fight where 2 of my siblings were in it as well. Because we're 2 years apart, like, so my brother Austin, my sister Johanna, and we all got into this fight with this other, like, sibling pair. Because we're like, there was like this thing that you have to climb up to like walk across on a rope. And this big guy, so much bigger than me, like tried to push me off. And so like, I'm David and he's Goliath. I whacked his ankle while he was standing on the thing to go up, and he just straight up like falls and like his back got knocked by the wood thing, and he like got winded. He was like, I remember him doing that. So when he got up, he like fully uppercut me, and then my sister I remember hearing this. My sister was like punching his back, like you fucking idiot. And then my little brother like just like tries to tackle his legs, but this guy was so big. Like, how was he year 6 and he's like an adult size? And like I was just like, I was still holding my lip. And then, like we full on start swinging at this fucking Shrek behemoth. And then the teachers come and like everyone's just crowded around. They're like, oh. I would always remember them saying, oh. Like we were all fighting.
Yeah, the
That was so
punch-on.
embarrassing. And then like me, my sister, and my brother, we all have to sit with that guy. Vinny, if you're watching, you're still a dumb bitch. Fuck you. Vinny and his sister had to sit in the meeting too, and we were just sitting across each other like. I had a busted lip and was just watching. We had to sit there and they're like, Mr. Chambly, the principal, he's like, now was that necessary? Was all of that necessary? He was like, was all of that necessary over the playground? Huh? I'll start with the oldest, and then he started with my sister because she's 2 years older than me. And he started with Vinny, the big guy. It was so funny.
Wow, was that necessary?
Yes. She came from my clan. She came from my village.
I'm so genuinely like curious. All these bullies, I wonder if they've grown up and reflected like on the past, like I was a cunt, like I should not have bullied people or blah blah blah. Like, are they nicer people now or are they still the same? I really wonder.
I look back at them like with no malice at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh no, if my brother was like too much when he was younger, I know it's not because of him. Like none of these children are doing these things because of their personality.
It's like their
It's because of what's going on. Yeah,
upbringing.
something's going on at home for them to like feel like they need to take it out on weaker people at school. But little did they know I am not the one.
Sure came to find I'm very like fortunate. I have never fought with these hands. Never worked, never fought.
No, it's like proper ghetto. If anyone else was in New Zealand, like you probably know which area I'm talking about when I say ghetto.
Casadino? Ruatoki.
Oh my god, that's the Wops.
The what?
Hey! Oh my god, like that's not even like one of the biggest cities. It's like Bay of Plenty. No, we're talking South Auckland. Hey, Abyssal! Abyssal Call! Oh, we love that.
Anyone here in South Auckland?
Please.
I doubt it. We have 400 people, most of them Americans.
Yeah. No Hori. I haven't heard Hori in
Wait,
ages.
who here is in New Zealand, like in general? Wait, we do have some. Winter Minty? That are raising your hand, like you're from New Zealand?
Hey,
Yeah, Blackpink Jenny actually went to the same went to the same high school as JJ, apparently.
Who said that?
You did.
When?
You said that she went to the same high school as you.
No, intermediate. Wait, you're talking about Jenny?
Yeah, Blackpink.
I thought someone was in the chat that went to the same high school as me. No, Jenny went to Howard Intermediate. That's where I fought that Indian guy after I got off the bus.
Wait, what? So you fought at a different school?
No, that's the same school.
So you did go to the same school?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you went to the same school as Jenny, Blackpink.
Yeah, I was supposed to be in Blackpink too.
Yeah, see, period.
I'm thankful that like trust if I'd never I'm happy that like my my childhood was the way it was.
Me too.
Like if my friends get like mauled by something, if someone grabs your handbag, trust I'm gonna fight for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna bring a pepper spray or something. I believe Rose is from Australia. I'm not sure. Well, wanna be
How about your brother?
my brother?
Mhm.
What would you like to know?
Was he like a recluse in school?
Oh, he was just like, he gave off very serious, cold, unfriendly Asian boy vibes. He has classes and all, but like he's not like, he didn't get like amazingly good scores or anything. He had something with the girls. Like every time a girl tried to be friendly with him, he was very intel vibes.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he's up with that. I will say that my brother, like our relationship with our dad, he got the worst end of my dad, which is like not super duper bad when you think about it, but it's still like on the worst side.
Like
Just like the hate.
physical.
I mean, I guess the physical is mostly just like slapping, like Asian household, like slapping on the bum or whatever. But later in life, my dad stopped doing slapping, and it was very much like arguing and yelling. I guess I was like I was just like whatever type. Like I obviously found it annoying, but I'm like my mom. Like if I'm quite patient, my brother is on the angriest side. No fights or anything. If anything, if my brother ever fights, it's very much like argument and verbal type of fights. That's all everything I had with my brother. Like every time I got in an argument with my brother, it's always like verbal fights. I've only like fought with my brother once, and that was like when we were both having a shower together, and you know we were punching each other and all, so we were both naked fighting. So not a fun memory. Literally, the only time I've ever gone into a physical fight was when we were super young and, you know, in a shower, like hated fucking each other.
Like actual fighting or just like
I mean, the most
kind of
I did
like-
was probably like a push and a punch, and he did it to me, and that's about it.
who was watching over you?
We were in the shower, so no one was watching it.
So
For
no one was supervising?
I don't think so. Or maybe, I don't know. I definitely remember I was in the shower. He was just outside it. I don't know, he finished or something. We must have been very young though for us to be like both showering to save the water. Didn't you do that when you were young?
No.
Oh, okay. Is it just like
No,
an
but
Asian
there are
thing?
plenty of times where like there was no water. Hey.
Is it an Asian thing to like the young siblings bathe together? Yeah, that's the most I've done for fighting. I have. I escaped South Auckland for well, except we realized here, so I don't know what's worse.
Wait, that's me. I left to live in Wellington for the last 2 years of high school, and it was so good. It was so pretty where I live.
Meeting Bubarella would be really fun. Who's Bubarella? Bubarella is a old friend from Overwatch.
You can beat him up.
I bathed with my sister when I was little, but I'm the younger one. See?
Yeah, that's fine.
This is JJ. This is not Boo.
It is boob.
I don't understand places that struggle with water shortages, just like turning the faucet. Okay, so I have a story. So, my dad got so fed up with the water bills because mostly me, I took like 30-minute showers. Well, I was complaining about water bills. Like, honestly, it wasn't even that much. I swear it was like $270 a month, right? Like, that's normal household. Is that like normal household shit? Or am I wrong? Or was it 100?
It probably went up. I don't know.
But I swear it was like normal household like type of numbers. And he was tired of it. And so he like cut off the water to the house. So the washing machine wouldn't work. My mom had to hand wash everything with like the
How did he
sink.
cut it off though?
I don't really know. So he could turn off the shower anytime he wanted to. So if I was taking too long in the shower, whatever, he could literally just like turn off the shower if he wanted to, which is quite often. Eventually got to a point where he would only have the shower for himself, or maybe not. And the water was off. And so me, like the whole entire family, we had to shower with like buckets of water.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, and so that's why we don't like our dad. Like he's very stingy with his money and like very like piece of shit. And even though he's stingy with his money, it's only because of, like to the family. He is the type of person to go out and like show off, whether it be like showing off kids. Well, he didn't really think highly of me or my brother, so if he had the choice, which he didn't in his eyes, he would have been like that type of parent to be like, look at my kid getting A plus, blah blah blah. But he didn't really. He thought really lowly of me and my brother. So he was the type of person to very like try to flaunt his money, or try to like pay for people's dinners or whatever just so he could look good. It's very like image based for him, like very face, if you will. But yeah, I had to, like the whole family had to shower with like buckets, 2 buckets of water for like the longest of time, sorry, like a few months.
That's actually gross.
Yeah, so it was really annoying. I think this was after uni, so sometime during my streaming career.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Honestly. And he also he would turn off the power to like, because electricity bills, he would turn off the power when we were staying up too late, or if making too much noise. So I remember I was playing with Oasis on Overwatch. I was doing with her, and then I was streaming as well, and but I guess I was talking too loud. I don't think I was, but so this is like if this is my setup, this is the wall, and then my dad is sleeping directly on the other side of the wall, so he can kind of hear things. And so I guess I was too noisy or whatever. He came into my room fucking screaming and yelling. And I don't speak Chinese. He doesn't understand English. I have never had a conversation with my dad. I can never converse with my dad. The most I've ever had with my dad is like yes and no question. He would ask me like yes and no questions in Chinese, and I would just shake my head or nod my head. I've never had a full conversation with my dad, ever. So I kind of actually explained to him that like, oh, I'm streaming, blah, blah, blah. Like he's just like yelling like, why are you so loud? Why are you playing so loud? Like, blah, 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 blah. And so then whilst on stream, he's like yelling, and then, you know, my chat was like worried for me, like Oasis was worried for me, and then eventually he cut out the power to the whole house. My brother was also playing, and then my brother's very, very angry with it, and so my brother and my dad had a big on fight and like yelling at each other. But again, my brother yelled in English, and my kind of like half English, half Chinese, because my brother knows more Chinese than I do. So they were arguing and stuff like that, and my mum was also there yelling at my dad, stuff like that. So, and I was just like sitting there like in my room, being like, oh my god, this can't be happening. And then I turned back on the stream. I got to stream again. Like the power came up, and then I don't know if I got to stream again or if I just messaged Oasis like, I'm so sorry that this happened, or blah blah blah. But yeah, that happened. So dad, no, we don't like dad. We don't stand him. Very stingy. He always thought he would use, I think puk guy is a word. It's like when you see someone very useless, like someone is just like, I don't know, freeloading the house, like very useless, blah 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 blah. So he saw us like all like freeloading off him, like he was paying everything he felt like, blah 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 blah. And you know, he would always like give shit like, oh, playing video games all day long, blah blah blah. That's why I have like such a drive to like make money whilst being a gamer, to prove him wrong And I think I'm finally like getting it. I don't really know what the average like income is. I don't know if I've reached that point now. I remember my dad like so he did a lot of like chopping, like butcher type of jobs at restaurants. And he would always complain about like how much it hurt his arm and stuff. I remember him saying he got like $1,000, or like my mum saying like $1,000 ish every week. But I don't know. Like obviously like inflation and also money has probably like changed. I don't know what the average price is or like what a butcher type of pay income is. But that's why I'm very like on top. I try to aim at least $4,000 like a month, just so I can like beat that and be like, hey, I play video games and I am making a living out of it. I'm making money. And yeah, what else?
Period.
He's the type of person that like really wants like results, like good grades and stuff, like shit like that, for the face of it.
A combination.
Yeah,
currency.
and he would never pay for it. So we had Kumon, so it was $100 a month for Kumon for each subject. So I did maths. He would only pay for like 2 months or 3 months, and he was like, "Oh, this is too expensive," and like started making excuses, shit like that. And so my mom had to constantly pay for like the tutor and stuff like that. So like, it was always like, well, if you really care, like you would be paying for it, but like you don't care. So like, stop being such a bitch about like scores. Like I got in my year level, like I said, my school was not the best academically. The highest that we got was a 90 something, like low 90 something, 90.7 or something for our ATA. That was the highest we had for our year level, and it was a girl. So it was like, it's kind of sad, like 90 is like our highest for our school, but it just goes to show like our school was considered like I forgot what it was like a special, not special needs school, like, it's not, it's like, so like when you go into ATA, like your ATA, like you go to a uni course, you get a special consideration there. Special consideration where your ATA will get like just a bit bumped up because you went to like a bad school, like academically, like, you know, which I'm totally fine because like I'm happy with my like friendly school, which I really value a lot. So I got 85.2. I think I was the second highest at my high school. I was the top boy, I believe, so second highest, I think. I'm not too sure if there was anyone higher than me. And like, it's not like I could ever like tell my dad like I got the second highest in my high school for that year. Like, I can't speak to him, and even then he probably wouldn't believe it or care or whatever. So it was really always annoying that like he would always talk shit about me and my brother or me really, and I could never like prove him wrong. Even to this day, like even though I'm making money playing video games, I can't prove him wrong, even though he lives down the street. But like I don't know how to talk Chinese. I don't know how to speak Chinese, and you know, it's very like strange to like bring it up. Like, oh, I make this much money. I don't know. Like one day, like my dream is like I make so much money. I live in a fucking mansion. Like I own a fucking like car. I probably won't drive or anything, but like maybe I'll have like some driver, some like servant like drive me to my dad's house. I have like my sunglasses and my fucking Gucci coat and you know, reach the house and handbag, like knock knock knock, hello, you know, this is Hong, so that's my Chinese name, my boy Chinese name. You know, my mum will remember this and that, and I would bring my mum along with me, and so she can like, you know,
Look at that guy.
yeah,
Pathetic.
yeah, like exactly. That's like something I dream of doing. So I don't know if it's gonna ever come to reality or if I would ever care to follow up on that. So I don't know.
I think he'll come crawling
Yeah, so he's very much
like in a time of need.
My mom thinks that as well. My mom always says like, if your dad ever like comes up to you and like, oh, I need money, blah 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 blah, which she believes he will do, always say no, like screw him.
Period. Just put your AirPods in and walk away, and you'll have big boobs by then, so you can just misfortune strut away.
I think I'm pretty happy with small boobs.
Period.
I remember my mom telling me the story about like how. Thank you for that, Andy. Thank you. So my
Oh my god, yeah. Go and drop 2 buckets of water off.
oh, he's the shower.
Mwah.
I remember like, so we were sick, my brother and I, or maybe we weren't sick, I don't know. And we had like this medicine, and so my mom had that medicine for like me and my brother, obviously. And then my dad liked another woman, and he wanted to have the medicine, like bring the medicine to that woman's child so he could help. And my mom was like, no, this medicine is for our kids. Like, no, you're not taking it. And then one day, like my dad like snuck with it
Jeez.
and take the medicine to her and all that. I think my mom said that he bought a ring for her. But that woman ended up like going with another guy or something happened. But yeah, I think I remembered her saying as well, like when my mom was having us, she was in the hospital for something. I think she was having a baby. So it might have been me or my brother. Or maybe just something. She was in the hospital for something, and my dad was off to see that other woman for whatever. So
That's fucking despicable.
yeah. It's gone to the point where like my mom is like so used to it that she's like, I don't care. I don't care about him.
Honestly, our dads are alike.
My dad
to
did
be
drink and all,
sorry.
but he wasn't very like aggressive drunk. No beating or anything. He would have his bouts where his friends, because he's very much like listening to his other friends. So if the other friends tell him like, oh, you should hang out with your kids more, blah, blah, blah. I would see sometimes some effort from my dad to like try to, you know, be friendly or try to interact with me and him or blah, blah, blah. But it always goes away really quickly. It's like it's like a short moment. Like the true colors always shine out at the end, in the end. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder like how he was raised. Like I don't think people are born bad or born evil. I always think it's like very much how they're raised or their environment and stuff like that. So I always like wonder like what happened to my dad when he was growing up for him to be this way. So my dad always gets kicked out from his work. It was always a common thing like for me to see him work at one restaurant for a few weeks and then he has a fight with the boss. He gets kicked out and then works for another restaurant, has another fight, you know. I forget, is it just called kicked out or is there another word for it? But fired, sorry, yeah. He gets fired, works in another restaurant, gets fired, works in another restaurant, gets fired. Like it was always happening, so like
My dad too. Because of drinking.
I don't know if it was for drinking for my dad. I think it was more just like he was just a shitty person.
My dad actually went crazy one time. He was drunk, I think, and he like wrote a resignation, but forgot he did that when he was sober.
Oh.
And then we didn't have money, so hey, good job.
Idiot.
Fucking idiot.
My dad's like this. Oh. Congrats on AVID, thank you.
You guys should be dads. Be dads and be better. Oh my god, there'll be 2 dads. Lol.
So sometimes people ask me like, how did I come out to my family? How was it? Blah blah. My mom, well, very supportive. As you guys see, very supportive. My dad, on the other hand, again, I've never been able to speak to him. Can't speak English. He doesn't understand Chinese. He can't understand. Sorry, he can't understand English. I can't speak Chinese. So there was one time I had a hairpin. You know, like the crocodile hair, like the snapping crocodile pins that you have when you like doing makeup or whatever.
Yeah.
I had that was eating because my hair was getting longer and I was just clipping it back. And one day
Oh,
I forgot
scared.
I had it. So he came back home and saw me with it. I was like, "Why are you wearing like for girls?" Blah blah blah. But I don't know. I can't tell him like, "Oh, it's just because I'm eating and blah blah blah." So I just had to sit there and just like look. Like I can't do anything. Like I don't have to speak to my dad. And then eventually went away. But like it was that point. I was like, that's when I knew like, oh, he doesn't like this like girly shit. Not that it really mattered. Like, so if I ever wore makeup and stuff, it's like for streaming, like this was like when I had like webcam moment, like I would have to always go to the bathroom or whatever, like with my out my dad looking. Thankfully, he's always like outside, like doing his like garage, like manly shit.
Yeah.
So he was not really in the house all that much all the time. So I could like just, you know, wear a dress or wear a skirt or blah 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 blah. But it was always like hiding from my dad, which my mom would help me sometimes. Same period.
To hide in the house or?
Like just be like looking at like, oh, he's not around, go 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 or whatever.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Or like, oh, don't come out, he's around. Stay in your room.
He's not here. Put the skirt on.
But my brother, I never really talked much to my brother too much. Like, my brother was always like had some anger problems, which probably stemmed from my dad like being all more
Yep.
mean to him. My brother like would always yell at me for things, mostly the internet, but even like when we were playing video games and stuff. So I've always had like this disconnection with my brother. Like I've tried to be nice with him, but every time it always backfires. I'm like, why am I nice to you ever? Like I can't be bothered. So it's gone to this point where like I don't really care. Like you do you, just don't get in my way. And he does. I think like he's definitely improved. I can see that he's definitely improved. And all. But we definitely have our own lanes and live our own lives. Like we don't really ever talk, and I'm fine with that.
Oh my god, everyone's revealing their trauma. I love these cheating ones. Caduceus, my dad cheated on my mom, and now my mom's cheating on my dad. And Chris, both of my parents were cheating behind their backs, and I'm just there observing.
I don't think my like trauma or anything like as bad as like any like some things that I hear. So
Oh.
I'm still like quite fine with like my
One of these
upbringing.
days we can sit down and I'll tell you some fun stories.
Yay. I definitely relate to on the language barrier. I never had this conversation with my parents. Yeah, my mom speaks a little bit English, which you guys have seen. Cantonese, a little bit English, Cantonese, Mandarin, Vietnamese, so 4 languages. So I always speak in English, she always speaks in Chinese. My brother tries to do half-half. Like he tries to do more Chinese now. But if anything, like if there's a word he doesn't know, he would just say in English. So I would say like maybe 80 to 90% Chinese from my brother and 10 to 20% English when he's talking to my mom. My mom has always wanted me to like learn Chinese and stuff like that, but like I'm just praying that like Google or some shit like the technology develops and so we just get translators and we don't need Chinese or whatever. Like fuck it. What am I gonna do with it anyways? You look so cute today, thank you. My dad told me how my mom was cheating when I was 7. I couldn't stop crying for a week. Did they break up?
Unlucky.
What would you do? Like the dad that feels, or like the parent that got cheated on. That's so sad.
That's shitty though. That's not what you do. You don't fucking emotionally manipulate your children. Hey, mom's being mom's I love your mom so much. I love you. I love you kids.
My dad called me the F word in China before, watching James Charles Back Down. What is that?
As you should.
He would always say a lot, like, deal lay low ma, pop guy. I forget the other Chinese words. Bok chai, is that another word? Fat chai? I don't know.
What is that?
I
Fart
don't,
chai.
I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's along the lines of like lazy the house or some shit.
There's a word in my language, fuffa.
Fuffa, what's that mean?
Fuffa is like it's kind of like a subculture here, but it's also just like the F word basically.
Ah,
It's like the long version is fafa fine. And I would always remember my dad's sisters, my aunties, they were always like, Bese fafa when I would like be talking with their children, like my cousins.
Fuffa
And
Fine sounds like a champion name.
yeah. Hey, hey Seraphine. Basically means like, is he? It's that SpongeBob. Is he? Is he a maggot?
Uh,
It's like the amount of times I could remember them clearly, just like saying it when I'm right there. Fafa. Fucking gossiping aunties just looking at me, a child.
oh my god. My dad always said Dile Lomo to my mum,
Yeah.
which I believe means F your mum.
What
Yeah, Dile Lomo.
about you?
To my mum. So when my mum and my dad got in arguments, my dad will always be like Dile Lomo.
Jeez. I remember my dad saying to my mom, "He better not be gay."
Uh-oh.
After I did something, and I stopped doing that thing, but I forgot what it was. Oh, I think we were we were grocery shopping, and the like how at the end of the aisle they'll like display something that's on sale for you to get. I think it was like chocolates or something, but instead of like walking over to it, like I leapt. Like just a single step, I hopped and like left my back. Like when I landed on my foot, I lifted the other leg up and grabbed the chocolate.
Yeah, it's very
And then I heard him
fancy
say, "You
Prince
better not
vibes.
be gay." It's like, "You better not be gay." I was like, "Oh, let me just walk properly."
Fuck your dad.
Oh my god, it was my childhood home. I remember having so much. I think that's where my internalized homophobia started. It was from all of that stuff, and I remember having like I had this cute blue blanket with a blue bulldog on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember having like this big ass like dialogue with him, like a dramatic like I can't help that I sound this way. Like I had such a like a dramatic Oscar nominated scene with my dad. Like he came home and he always like treated me differently to my brother Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's not my fault that I sound like this. And like I was saying all this dramatic shit and like everyone was just silent while the cartoons after school were playing. And I was just like, no one said anything. So I was just like, oh. So I just grabbed my blanket crying and went and like hid under my blanket on my bed.
Aww. I know you said you had a bit of a reunion, your sibling and your dad, and it was an awkward one. Do you see yourself talking to him again and all? Because I know you said you don't hold any more hatred or
Yeah,
malice.
I think it's just different now, and I think my sister gets that too. Like the girl, that alcohol took a toll on him. I'm pretty sure. Like he just seems so like he seems actually crazy now. Like he just seems. I can tell there's remorse there because of all the time that we spent away from each other, and like us basically like skipping the country and like never ever keeping in contact with him. Like I'm sure he's reflected on it.
If he extended his hand and wanted to like connect with his children again for like a more wholesome experience, would you be open for it?
Probably Probably because we're all adults now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was his birthday on the 16th of December, and I think we were in league, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, we were like in a team fight, and I had to mute because my mom had the phone because he wanted to
Oh.
talk,
Oh.
and I just said, "Happy birthday!" Oh my god! It's 5 minutes. It's Austin's birthday today.
Wow. Happy birthday to him.
Yeah, but anyway, like I just said hi, and I remember thinking to myself like, deepen your voice. You can't talk like you're with the girls.
It's
I
like,
was like, hi,
yeah.
and then my mom turned someone. Who do you think this is? Like, which child is this on the phone?
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, it's JJ. Like, it's JJ. It's JJ. And I was like, oh, happy birthday. And it was just so awkward. It was like a 5 second talk. And then I went back to ending on Seraphine.
I definitely remember those times when my dad would constantly try and get me on the phone with his like mom, like the grandparents, and like I barely even know them. So it was always like hi, and then they were just like, "Have you eaten? Are you healthy? Are you doing well?" And it's just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So, I'm over this shit. Like,
Oh,
let me
wait.
play.
I just heard my sister say happy birthday. I'm going to go say happy birthday to Austin and give him a
Yep.
hug.
Yep, go do that. So yeah, chat, that is my experience with my dad. We do not stand him. But again, I didn't have like anything super bad, so it's not like super traumatic or anything. It's just very... These are the shit that I lived with, and I don't know if it tested my... I don't know if it created my patience, or if I had that patience all along and it just tested my patience. Because I was definitely more on the chill side. Along with my brother being really angry, and I had to be patient. Like, if he was yelling or blah blah, annoying the house. And that's why I want to just live with a boyfriend and have sex every day. Live with a boyfriend, have kisses and cuddles all the time.
I'm back.
Hi.
Not have sex every day.
I just want a boyfriend.
I feel like you'll get tired of it.
The sex?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I would never get tired of hugs and kisses though. Never.
If you're topic though, yeah.
Never hugs and kisses. I love them. I still hug and kiss my teddy bears all the time. Did you just want to talk or do you want to play?
Good either way.
I want to play with more people. I want around. Monty's with another group, I assume. What
Where's that
else?
shy guy?
Hiding?
Yeah, he's online now.
Anything else?
Would you change anything?
Huh?
Would you change your childhood?
I don't think so. I think I like it the way it is.
Would you want a relationship with your grandparents, since you just mentioned that?
I don't think it's possible though, because they're in Vietnam. The only people in Australia is me, my brother, mum and dad, and I think some random cousin or some shit, like uncle or some shit, like in Queensland, that I don't know if I've ever met in my life. I think that's all.
I wish I had good grandparents.
What do you want to play? They were bad?
No, well, my dad's side was all for him, but my mom's side, the grandparents, they were only there for like when I was really little, then they passed away. But I feel like grandparents would be such a nice thing to have. Just present ones.
A lot of Asians in the stream? I think so. My grandparents are dead, so oh no. I guess I never really had to experience that, like the loss. Sometimes I see people like upset that their grandmas or grandpas die or pass away, and I never. My mom's dad did pass away, and I know my mom was definitely upset that she went to visit him, I believe. I didn't get to have any connection with them, so to me it was very much like I feel sorry for my mom. If anything, that's all.
I remember funerals. It was very that. I think I'm just jealous of like people that had grandparents around, have another generation of adults looking after you, not just your parents.
You can be that. You can be the grandparent.
Okay.
I wish my grandpa was dead in all honesty. He was discussing the house like I'm not even about to get into.
I
Look at this, yeah. I know my brother really wants my dad to be dead and all, so.
And you?
I don't think I had that level of hatred. I think it's very much like stay out of my lane. Don't talk to me. Get out of here. Like, I do my thing. You do your thing. I'll come back to you when I want to flex on you. That's all.
So stick around.
Yeah. The thing is like he wouldn't even recognize me, obviously, and so I would need my mom to come along to like explain like this is a new me. And I don't know if my mom would want to do that. I think that's experienced a lot of LGBT. The thing is that my experience wasn't because I was girly or anything. Like my dad was just straight up a cunt to my mom, to my brother, and to me, right? Or to everyone in the world, like him getting kicked out or fired from all his jobs. It's not like an LGBT thing. He was just straight up a cunt in general. He didn't even really know much about like my LGBT-ness. Like the most he saw me was like with the hair clip, and that's about it. That's all he knew of me. You can play whatever you want, wait to. I should have done my runes. I don't want these raw runes. I need to change up something. I think we're over Sona. Who the fuck cares about playing Sona? Let me change these runes. I want maybe a Hackstack Flash. I don't know if this will be good. Biscuit?
Tsunami wants to get pregnant.
I love that. Probably not phase rush, huh? I don't know if phase rush is useful. It might be, but cause I know Alistair gets it, but I have less movement speed.
I mean, you can raise good children. You can give them good values. But can you, like, afford them?
My dad, too stingy with his money, so... I mean, he could afford, it just... he didn't want to.
Yep. Did he have it? Did they have children on purpose?
I think so, yeah. Otherwise they wouldn't have two, right?
Yeah.
My mom was very, like, they had children, like, when they were, like, 33s, 35s moment, I believe. The most my dad ever uses his money for is, like, buy the newest phone, to buy, like, all these cool gadgets and shit like that he doesn't even know how to use, so I don't even know why he freaking bothers. Like, he doesn't know how to use a phone. So I don't know why he's getting the newest one. Yeah. He buys like cars. It's very strange. He buys cars. Thank you for this, Christina. He buys cars to work on them and then sells them. So I guess it's the money. I don't even know if he makes that much of a profit. Like, our house looked like a junkyard. The backyard, absolute junkyard. Like, metal everywhere. Like, fucking Rell's armor everywhere. And we would have, like, not even three, like, four in the work cars in front of the house. Like, cars with, like, no wheels or shit like that. Like, he just likes working on this shit. I'm like, for what? I'm like, is this fun?
Like you mean it. Die for something that matters. I'll twist Noxus until it snaps.
He's very someone that does things just to be accepted, or like because people do ask to. Like, he doesn't understand English, but like he knows like his friends have the radio on when they're in the garage working or whatever, so he wanted to also have the radio on in the garage, but he doesn't understand English, so like I don't know why he has it other than just have it white noise or some shit. So he just wanted to be part of, you know, he just wanted to be doing what other people are doing. It's like very strange. Very insecure. I don't know where that comes from, that stems from.
I refuse to be broken. I survived the academy.
My dad was stingy with his money as well, even though he got paid nearly 3k a week. Like, I never understood why he was like that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, he would be so reluctant to like pay for like $100 of tutoring, like for me, like human. But he'd be so easy to spend like $70 to $100 on like beer and like for his friends at a restaurant, right? Hi. Or like maybe buying for a girl or something. Or he'll be very down to spend money on like the newest phone, even though he doesn't even know how to fucking use a phone. There was one time when like he wanted me to do something on the phone. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. It was probably like transferring shit or whatever. So he was showing me a picture. Oh, he was like showing me pictures of cars because I think he wanted to like send a picture of a car to his friend or whatever. So I didn't know where the picture was, so I needed him to show me. And then so he was showing me around, blah blah blah. And then I took the phone, looking around the pictures, shit like that. And then his porn, like his, you know, the naked Asian girls popped up. And he was there with me looking at that same screen. We were both silent. We didn't say anything. And he just played it off. He just played it off like nothing happened. I was like, okay. But it's not the first time. Like I've seen his porn stash in his room, so I wasn't surprised that he had it. I was more surprised, like, wow, he's really not saying anything, like unshaken, unbothered. I was like, okay. Anyway. And we just like went on about like me trying to send the car pictures to his friends.
Black Rose may have been this